If the kidney fails, let's say kidneys, okay, fail, what do you think is going to back up in all the other tissues of the body where the blood goes? Do what? The wastes. Because they can't get it out. All right? So, we can see that with sympathetic control, we should reduce the GFR, we should reduce the urine output, we should redirect the blood to the other areas of the body that are going to need it. For example, in exercise, skeletal muscle, in times of heart attack, for example, get it to the other tissues of the body, the other organs of the body, so that they can continue working until hopefully blood flow is restored. Okay, so sympathetic control. Because once everything comes back to being under control, like you end exercise, well, things are going to calm down anyway. Parasympathetic is going to be calming the system down anyway. Then, oh my goodness, does that look familiar? We talked about it in the hormone chapter. We talked about it in the blood chapter. We talked about it in the heart chapter. Now we've got it here. Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone mechanism. You guys remember how if the blood flow wasn't great, then the kidneys can pick up on low oxygen in the blood. Low oxygen in the blood makes renin get produced. Renin wants to go produce more red blood cells. And then, because if usually, in this case, it happens due to a drop in blood pressure, meaning blood's not pumping hard enough and getting to all the tissues, meaning low oxygen, therefore low oxygen, renin, therefore renin, to get the more blood cells to come back, and we can raise it up. And then if I've got the low blood pressure, I can get that renin, I can have my angiotensin form can go to the lungs, I can get ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme, I can get my angiotensin, I can get my blood pressure back up. Woo! RA is what it's called. R-A-A. RA. Rah. All right, that's a good way to think of it. Because if it is, the blood pressure's low. Okay, RA kicks in, it's rah, system low. All right. Okay, so RA, based on a sympathetic reflex from the drop in the blood pressure, renin, angiotensin, ACE, raise my blood pressure. Because the danger, blood pressure low, not having enough pressure to get to the tissues of the body to carry oxygen and nutrients, tissues would die, and I can't have that. All right? So, hormonal control. So the kidneys can self-regulate. We can have the autonomic nervous system, sympathetic control, and we can have the hormones play a part. Not the only hormones, though. So this is showing what can happen with RA. All right? Now, the reason for continuing to talk about RA and angiotensin and lungs and kidneys and so forth. Some medications that are used for blood pressure are ACE inhibitors, meaning they stop that angiotensin converting enzyme from functioning in the lungs. One of the big issues dealing with those types of medications, they interfere with a lot of other medications. So, if you are in your courses that you're going to take, or in clinicals, or in case studies that you have to be looking at. It's going to become very important for you to know the medications your patient might be on, especially the ACE inhibitors. All right? You give them a wrong medication with that, or let me explain something, okay? Seriously, who is really ultimately taking care of a patient? The nurses. We're not even going to get into that. Okay. That little comment that was made. Play cards? Yeah, right. I have several friends who are nurses. I'm teaching nurse. I didn't appreciate it myself. Okay?
The senators say
nurses play cards all day.
Play cards.
And anyway, so now it is really the nurses who are the advocate for a patient. It's going to be up to you guys to make sure, because doctor comes in and sees them for what, 60 seconds? It drives me up the wall. Okay? And comes in, goes out. Looks at a chart, goes out. How you feeling? And most patients are going to go, no, doctor asked me how I feel. If I ain't feeling, I'm like, man, come on back here, we got to talk. Okay? I mean, that's how I am with my doctor now. You know, she tells me, she's like, when I see your name on the list, I know it's going to be a fun day. And I'm just like, I know, right? And so, you know, my thing is, it is up to you all to remember this, okay? You guys are going to have to carry around some information about medications. You're going to have to carry some information around about different tests. Anything that might be able to conflict with that patient, because you're going to have to be their advocate. Doctor might say, well, let's put them on blank, and not even paying attention to the rest of the information. I had that happen with a friend of mine in the hospital. And I go, excuse me, they did what? Yeah, they were going to give me blank. And I went, you need me to come down and talk to them? She's like, no, I'll take care of it. I was like, okay, well, you better take care of it, because if I have to come down there, it's not going to be pretty, you know. And so I was like, I couldn't believe that. The nurse was like, no, you can't do that. It was the nurse. So it really does come down to you guys being an advocate. And anytime you see medications, for example, they're going to be ones that are used for blood pressure, and you'll learn their names of the medications, like lisinopril, okay? You'll actually learn the names, and they will stick with you, because you'll go, wait a minute, that's an ACE inhibitor. Well, does this medication interfere with that? And that, you know, that's the kind of thing I want you guys to be aware of when you go out into your chosen profession. But, okay, so this goes into stage 2, which we will start on Thursday. So stage 1, up to this point, okay, is through that glomerulus into the capsule. And what we have created is our filtrate that has a ton of stuff in it. The waters, the glucoses, the amino acids. It has a ton of material in it. So we'll start the formation 2 and go through what that's going to do. And y'all can use this time to